I think Tom.
I think Tom can beat Jon Jones because how fast and athletic he is.
But I'm more confident in Tom now because I trust in someone's. I know how John's acting. You know?
Who, Jon Jones?
I know how Jon Jones is acting. You don't want it. Nowadays in the UFC, I think he knows Tom is the antidote to him in terms of fighting.
Welcome back to MMA Rewind, fight fans. The heavyweight division is buzzing, and the biggest question on everyone's mind is Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall. Will this fight ever happen? Or is the legend Jon Jones actively ducking the dangerous interim champ? Well, some prominent voices in the MMA community, including the MMA Guru and the legend himself, Demetrious Mighty Mouse Johnson, have been sounding off, and they are not holding back. They're laying out some serious claims, suggesting Jones knows Aspinall is a massive threat, and might be avoiding him for that very reason. Today, we're diving deep into their explosive takes, Aspinall's own thoughts, and what other MMA figures are saying about this high-stakes situation. Let's get into it. Right off the bat, the sentiment from some corners is that Jon Jones might be strategically avoiding Aspinall. Both MMA Guru and Demetrious Johnson have been vocal, suggesting that they believe Tom Aspinall possesses the tools to defeat Jones, and that Jones is acutely aware of this, leading to perceived avoidance of the matchup. They're not mincing words, essentially accusing Jones of running from the challenge Aspinall presents. This sets a dramatic tone for the entire discussion surrounding this potential super fight. But what does Tom Aspinall himself think about Jon Jones? Interestingly, Aspinall has consistently spoken with a high degree of respect for the reigning champion, often referring to him as one of the greatest fighters to ever grace the octagon. Aspinall acknowledges Jones' incredible career and how close to perfection he has come over the last 15 years. However, this respect doesn't translate into a lack of confidence. Aspinall shrewdly points out the miles on Jones' clock and the damage he's accumulated. He believes that facing a power puncher like himself, who only needs one clean shot, will be an incredibly difficult challenge for Jones to navigate over 5 rounds. Aspinall is confident he can find that opening. Here's Tom in his own words.
I think Jon is amazing at MMA. I think he's literally you can never be a complete UFC fighter. It's impossible. That's one of the things that draws me to the sport so much, is why I'm so obsessed about it. It's because you're constantly chasing perfection, but you're never going to get it. No one's ever going to be a perfect, complete fighter. But Jon, in my opinion, if you look at his body of work over the last 15 years, he's like as close as you can get to perfection as possible. That being said, he's got a lot of miles on the clock, and he's fighting one of the most concussive punchers in UFC history. And I just think I can exploit it. Like, I think to get out the way of me for 25 minutes at this point in his career without getting hit once, and that's all I need is just one, I think that's going to be very difficult for anybody.
The MMA Guru chimed in on this, offering a nuanced perspective. He doesn't necessarily believe Jones is afraid of Aspinall in the traditional sense. However, he highlights that the current dynamic feels distinctly different from Jones' past title defenses. The Guru argues that if Aspinall had been the top contender 5 years ago, Jones would likely have faced him without a second thought. The crucial difference now, according to the Guru, is the element of doubt. In his earlier career, Jones often had clear advantages in skill and athleticism against opponents who were sometimes smaller or less powerful. But Aspinall is a different breed of heavyweight. He's big, potentially bigger than Jones, possesses devastating knockout power, and has a formidable wrestling background. The Guru seems to suggest Jones recognizes Aspinall as a uniquely dangerous threat, perhaps unlike any he's faced before, especially considering Aspinall's sheer size and finishing capabilities. Demetrious Mighty Mouse Johnson also believes Tom Aspinall has a strong chance of dethroning Jon Jones, primarily due to Aspinall's impressive speed and athleticism for a heavyweight. Johnson finds Jones's supposed request for a 6-month preparation period particularly telling. He speculates this could be a tactic by Jones to gather more intelligence on Aspinall. There isn't a vast library of footage showing Aspinall in prolonged, grueling wars. Most of his victories have come via quick, explosive finishes. Johnson notes that aside from a moment where Sergey Pavlovich clipped him, Aspinall has looked largely dominant. Mighty Mouse believes if Aspinall can maintain his composure, not get overwhelmed by the Jones mystique, and consistently apply pressure, he has a very real path to victory. Here's what Demetrious Johnson had to say.
I think Tom.
I think Tom can beat Jon Jones because how fast and athletic he is.
But I'm more confident in Tom now because I trust in someone's. I know how John's acting. You know?
Who, Jon?
I know how Jon Jones is acting. You don't want it. Nowadays in the UFC, I think he knows Tom is the antidote to him in terms of fighting.
Adding to the psychological analysis, the MMA Guru pointed out a significant shift in Jon Jones' typical pre-fight rhetoric. Throughout his career, Jones has exuded unwavering confidence, often making bold declarations about destroying and dominating his opponents. However, for the first time, Jones has introduced the concept of gambling his legacy. This phrase struck the MMA Guru as highly uncharacteristic and a deviation from Jones's usual confident persona. He interprets this language as a potential indicator of uncertainty, especially when confronted with a challenger like Aspinall, who presents a multifaceted threat: size, strength, speed, genuine knockout power, and competent grappling. Unlike some of Jones' previous adversaries, Aspinall is not perceived as an easy stylistic matchup, and the risks he brings are arguably far greater than what Jones encountered against fighters like Cyril Gane. The MMA Guru explains this further.
For Jon Jones' whole career, he's like, I'm going to destroy. I'm going to beat. I'm going to win. That's all of his speaking points going into fights.
Yeah.
For the first time, and I swear to God, Jon Jones said this, these guys want me to gamble my legacy against this other guy. What language? As a champion.
Yeah.
You know, we hear a lot of language. Strickland was a champ once, and his language was colorful, but this language is, this ain't Jon Jones.
Yeah.
Gamble your legacy? What gamble? You're Jon Jones.
Yeah.
So I think he senses, like,
well, I think
he's bigger, he's stronger, and, which is so uncommon, he's bigger, stronger, and faster.
Yeah. No, he's definitely faster.
One punch knockout power.
Yeah.
Can grapple.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I don't think he's going to be as easy as Gane. He might get taken down and destroyed. We don't know. He's a heavyweight at the end of the day. He's good grappling for heavyweight.
Veteran MMA journalist Ariel Helwani has also weighed in, expressing considerable frustration with Jon Jones. Helwani's main contention is that Jones is effectively stalling the heavyweight division and obstructing Tom Aspinall's championship aspirations. He argues that while Jones has every right to enjoy his life or pursue lucrative opportunities, holding the title hostage without defending it is unjust to other contenders. Helwani doesn't pull any punches, labeling the situation as a clear case of ducking. He emphasizes that in any sport, progression is vital. Jones, in Helwani's view, has already cemented his legacy and wouldn't face criticism for stepping aside. But if Jones isn't going to compete, Helwani insists he should vacate the title and allow the division to move forward. Ariel Helwani passionately lays out his argument here.
It's not about you, Jon. It's not about you. It's not about your life. It's not about your story. If you want to enjoy your life, if you want to be a part of a reality show, if you want to take that money and delay things and hold someone else's dreams back from becoming a reality, that is ducking. That is ducking, because there is a time-honored tradition in this business, in the sport, in combat sports, in fight sports, in sports period, that the whole thing has to move along. It's not about your story. Your story is great and you're living your best life, great. Get rid of that belt. If you want to do that, great. No one will begrudge you. Everyone thinks you've done enough. You've earned enough. You've proven enough. Now allow someone else to have that same story. Allow someone else to write that same story. You are holding him back. You are holding back not only Tom Aspinall, but the rest of the division. So yes, you're missing the point. This isn't about you. It's about the belt.
When it comes to predicting the fight itself, the MMA Guru envisions Tom Aspinall employing a strategy based on intelligent movement and feints to keep Jones guessing and hesitant. He pictures Aspinall leveraging his unpredictability, speed, and low calf kicks to disrupt Jones' timing and prevent him from settling into a rhythm. While acknowledging that Jones might land some shots or even attempt takedowns, the Guru foresees Aspinall successfully stuffing those attempts. He then anticipates Aspinall creating an opening and rushing in with an explosive offensive flurry, possibly reminiscent of moments in the Dominic Reyes fight, to break the distance and land decisively. The Guru's bold prediction is a first-round finish for Aspinall. Here's his breakdown.
But I reckon, if I had to give a prediction, I think Tom Aspinall goes out there, feint heavy. He does a lot of that.
Yep. Yep.
A lot of that stuff. Jones goes, I'm not just going to wade forward like I did against Cyril Gane.
Yep.
Calf kicks, smash.
Yep.
Calf kick, smash. Too low for Jon to catch.
Yep.
Fast. Jon maybe catches him with some stuff. Maybe shoots in. Aspinall's going to stuff it, I reckon. Separate like a Dominic Reyes could. And then he blitzes in. Bap. Catches Jon. I think Jon goes down in round 1.
Demetrious Johnson offered his thoughts on the sheer unpredictability and intrigue of this potential matchup. He painted a picture of the critical moments when Jones might try to close the distance, perhaps throwing elbows while maintaining a defensive posture. Johnson noted that even if an initial offensive burst from either fighter doesn't immediately succeed, the real intensity and character of the fight will emerge once they truly begin to exchange strikes. It's in that chaos, Johnson suggests, that both fighters will reveal their true mettle. Mighty Mouse explains the fascinating dynamics.
But see, you see, that's why it's such a hard. When I simulate it, it's like, hey,
Yep.
I don't have to bite on the feints. It's almost like, where are you gonna go? You're playing with that window. Where are you gonna go? And I'm like, he comes to a certain distance. I'm gonna throw the elbow, throw the elbow.
Yep.
He pushes him off. Oh, the blitz didn't work. Do it again. It's a hard. That's why I'm excited about the fight, because how does he get there? Because once he gets there and they start fucking fighting, I think this gorilla's gonna come out of that dust cloud.
Current UFC middleweight champion Dricus du Plessis also shared his thoughts, recognizing Tom Aspinall's youth and strong ambition, while contrasting it with Jon Jones, who he sees as nearing the end of his illustrious career. Du Plessis expressed a desire to see Jones retire, undefeated, and for Aspinall to subsequently emerge as the next dominant force in the heavyweight division. Simultaneously, du Plessis conveyed his respect for Jones's formidable fighter mentality and his remarkable ability to make exceedingly tough battles appear straightforward, underscoring why many regard him as the greatest of all time. Here's Dricus.
Aspinall is young, he's hungry. You have Jones, who is definitely at the end of his career, 38 years old. I don't need to see this, because he's never been beaten. I want Jon Jones to retire unbeaten, and I want him to retire, and Aspinall goes on to be the next big thing. But Jon Jones, being the warrior that is, he says, pay me enough and I'm doing it. Aspinall wants it, and one of them has to lose that fight. And that's the one thing, you look at it and you go, Aspinall's probably going to win. But then, if you ask me that, I say, no. We've said that so many times with Jon Jones, and it makes it look easy. He is.
Eddie Hall expressed strong confidence.
Finally, strongman Eddie Hall weighed in with a very confident prediction, stating unequivocally that he believes Tom Aspinall would defeat Jon Jones if they were to fight. While acknowledging Jones's legendary status, Hall thinks Aspinall's combination of skill, quickness, and upward trajectory would give him the decisive edge. He also suggested that Jones' apparent reluctance to take the fight might stem from fear. Hall emphasized that ultimately, actions within the cage speak louder than words, and firmly stood by his conviction that Aspinall would emerge victorious in a hypothetical showdown. Eddie Hall makes his bold claim.
Jon Jones or Tom Aspinall. So if you don't know MMA world, sorry to bore you, but Tom Aspinall is UFC's #1 right now. Jon Jones is, he's seen as the best MMA fighter on the planet. Dana White's got a massive for him, says he's unbeatable. Honestly, I think if you put Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall in a room and said one man leaves, I think Tom Aspinall leaves that room. I genuinely do. I think Jon Jones, I mean, I can't badmouth the guy. He's got an amazing record, but he's definitely ducking Tom Aspinall, 100%. And I think he's even said he doesn't want to fight Tom Aspinall after his next fight. He's pretty much going to retire after this fight, so he's ducking Tom Aspinall. I mean, he can say what he wants, but actions speak louder than words. So there we go. Anyway, the answer to that question is Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall is kicking Jon Jones.
So, fight fans, the debate rages on. We've heard from analysts, legends, and fellow fighters. Some see Jon Jones as strategically avoiding a dangerous new era threat in Tom Aspinall, while others believe Jones' experience and fight IQ will prevail. Aspinall himself is ready, respectful, but confident. Is Jones ducking? Is Aspinall the man to dethrone the GOAT? Or will Jones add another legendary name to his resume before potentially riding off into the sunset? The heavyweight division is certainly not short on drama. What are your thoughts on this entire situation? Who do you think takes it if this fight ever comes to fruition? Drop your opinions in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to MMA Rewind for more of the latest news and analysis from the world of combat sports. We'll catch you in the next one.